Thanks for joining me in the junkyard again, everyone. Today's adventure is another perfect example of why you don't just go around making thoughtless stopgap decisions. Needed some sides for the flatbed, so I whipped up these temporary jobs. And here I am, doing it the way that I should have done in the first place, only 12 years later. I tell you, a complete waste of $12 and 12 minutes. So anyway, the plan is I have the remains of this bed from the parts truck that I got the dually axle from. It came with one of these beds from the bed factory, which I don't care for the framing of. I think it's a little light gauge and it's too tall. Sits up higher than the one that I built. But it came with this front piece with the window protector and these sides, which are of a reasonable gauge, and a tailgate that needs a bit of a straightening. But these, for their bed factory bed, they staked in. And I don't want to do it that way, as I'm tired of lifting these wood sides out of their pockets. And these are a little bit heavier. So you can see we've already been cutting the stake protrusions off of the sides here in preparation to make them pivot, fold down when you want to load this thing flatbed style, and be removable if necessary without too much trouble, but I shouldn't have to do that too frequently. So we need to make some hinges. And looking around the junkyard, we've got this heavy-duty barbecue grill with all this 5/8 rod, and we've got 1/2-inch schedule 40 galvanized pipe. And if we drill it out a bit, it's about the perfect amount of slop for a hingy bedside connection. Gotta grind the lumps off of here though. For this front piece, I'm obviously not going to take off a nice racking system here, for which I have the matching rear piece to carry long things on top of. And this thing, for some reason, is over 5 inches taller than this. Seems a ridiculous height. Completely unnecessary, as the sides only come up about 14 inches. So anyway, I want to use this structure to support this front piece, so we don't need these members that were staking it in and rigidifying it before. So we're in the process of grinding off the welds and chiseling these off of here. See, there one is already gone. And I'll put this flat against the existing framework. There we go. Perfect fit for this. Yeah, I need to remove this extra bit of top here with the plasma cutter. This thing is too heavy, and there's nowhere to work in the garage. So it looks like it's time for another temporary solution. I've got to bring the plasma cutter outside. But it seems to be hardwired into the panel here via a short cord. The most convenient solution I happen to have lying around for that is this medium length of 8-gauge wire. A 10 would do, but this medium length 8-gauge wire. ought to be exactly enough. Let's see, there we are. Just pop that out of there. And take this end outside. How far will we get? Just about enough. Install my new plasma cutter stand. Hey, fancy. A proper strain relief this time. Well, there are too many conductors. But in this panel, the ground goes to the same place as the neutral grounded conductor. So I'll use the bigger one. That's a temporary solution. So I got my straight edge clamped on here to make this cut with the plasma torch, but I have no clamp deep enough to affix the other end. So let's see if I can get away with a self-drilling screw through the hole in the end of that drywall square. So I've been calculating here where these sides need to be positioned so that we'll have a full 8 feet with the tailgate closed, plus a little extra, well, at least a ½ inch of leeway there, because it's really annoying when your unit of plywood is sticking out the back by one piece of bark. I cut the bolts out of these corner pieces because they weren't bolted together quite tightly against each other. So I'll weld these in position now. There's where that lines up. I'm preparing to make the side hinges. And so the plan so far is I've got these little rectangles that will weld onto the bottom of these former stake channels. So I'll start by welding this like so onto my piece of pipe. Cleaned a wide area there so I can weld on both sides. This will be welded to the bottom of that. And then we cut the hinge tube there and there. And weld the short bits on each end to the truck. And there should be a hinge. .6011, the one true rod. That's a welding wrist. Okay, now with the hinges working nicely, I needed a mechanism to hold it in the up position. So a couple pieces of angle here, just like this one. Drill a 5/16 hole. And pin that right in. Now this tailgate though needs a bit of a straightening. About a 20-ton straightening. And a little bit of additional straightening. Yeah, if I had finished building that shop press, I wouldn't be able to use it sideways like this. Careful. Careful. There. Well, I hate to abuse a tired expression, but that's straight enough to contain various materials while being transported along a roadway. Pins into the sides at the top right there. But we need some hingy things down there. And in order to get the 8 feet within the box with a little extra, I had to extend about 3 inches beyond the previous rear edge. So we got to put a 3-inch extension on here. But working around these hingy things for a project that we'll be doing in the near future. So over here at the parts truck bed, once again, there's all this nice 3-inch C-channel stuff that I've already used some of on that truck that they used for the trailer hitch arrangement. So we'll get the plasma cutter and liberate all of those. We've drilled pinholes in the pins and added handles to be like these other ones that were like that as they were cut from that grill. Now is the rear bit and the hinges, but we're missing one hinge, so I need to make a new this piece. But it doesn't have to be exactly like that. So firstly, I don't have any of this 1-inch square stock around here, but I do have angle. So I ground one piece of it down shorter so it results in a square, and beveled these edges so I can weld them together. And when I weld that together, I'll have this pin in place so that it doesn't wind up too small. And here, instead of using 3 pieces here and welding on little triangles, I just cut a short bit of that 3-inch C-channel and put the notch in it to put things at the same level. And there's no real reason that I need to cut away this pointy part. I guess I'll cut it off if I keep snagging myself on it. We've got the 3-inch bed extension in place here, and in order to mount these hinges to that, I just need an additional plate here that I cut from some of our scrap I-beam. That'll fit up roughly like so. Now weld that hinge to it. And there is one square manufacturing jig. Got the little piece of aluminum in there so that it doesn't become too small for the pin. Don't want to have to hammer it in there, you know. Yeah, if you want to really do it right, you gotta use homemade square stock. Now, using the original hinge to help line things up, and there it is. Found some of these pins, those are nice. They stay out of the way for loading. Have to get some more of those. Anyway, tailgate. There's the hinge assembly. I have to cut off this bolt and drill a pinhole in it. Pretty much done. So now it's looking like a dump truck. So I guess I'll have to work on that dump part next time. Thanks for watching.